What's up, everybody? It's your boy Adam, taking a chill pill on the Spring Creek Greenway. Gonna drink the rest of this water. And they're saying it's 95 degrees right now. I'm a little slimy, but I don't know what, I guess this is the hot weather everybody told me I was gonna hate. And yeah, it really sucks being down here where it's sunny at 95 degrees here in the middle of May. Well, I guess it's the end of May now. And in Jamestown, New York, where I came from, it's like, fuck man, it's like 55, 60 degrees if you're lucky right now. Maybe 70 on a nice day. I think the 9 months of winter are wrapping up, getting ready for spring, followed by the 1 month of summer. And, but yeah, I don't got much to talk about. Get a drink of water here. This is a nice, that's cached. That's a nice, that water bottle, the insulated steel water bottle, is definitely nice to have though on a hot day like this, because that would be some pretty hot water and it's still nice and cold. So I don't know. I'm not gonna sit out here too long, but I don't know. I just want to take a break and chill and relax for a minute and sit on this bench. I'm just tired. In spots, there's a pretty nasty headwind. Where I'm sitting right now, there's no wind at all. But the last road that I have to take on my way home it's basically a wind tunnel. If the wind is coming from any direction, southwest, southeast, south, if the wind's coming from the south in any form, the wind just rips right up that road, and it's a pretty nasty, vicious headwind. And so the last few miles are just gonna take longer than I want. And it's nice to have the breeze on a day like this, but honestly, sitting still, well, there's a little breeze creeping through right now, but being all sweaty when it's not, I don't know what the humidity is today. It's higher than it's been. It was a little muggy this morning, but it doesn't evaporate quick. I'll be taking a nice shower when I get home and just cleaning up and feeling nice for the night. As far as the move goes, pretty much everything's in alignment. I felt like I should put in my availability for Tuesday and Monday next week, since I'm planning on taking Saturday off to do the move. But I'm also thinking maybe I can meet the landlord earlier and get the keys from him, at which point the U-Haul place was pretty chill. They said, you don't even need to make a reservation. You can walk in and grab a van. And I said, well, I'll feel more comfortable if I have a reservation and I know that you've set one aside for me on that day. But they seem like a pretty big U-Hauler, so they're probably going to have a lot of vehicles to rent. I'm almost of the opinion if I can get the keys to the new place Wednesday, maybe just move Thursday. The guy didn't really seem to care what day I moved. The lease is signed, the money's paid. I'm almost where I want to be on this one website. I'm going to send out an invoice. I don't think I'm going to work on it tomorrow, but I don't have a lot to do before I send an invoice for this batch of work. I feel like, I feel like I just want to, I want to get this done. I want to get out of this slumlord dump. I'm already, generally I'm already feeling good about this whole situation. The only thing I'm trying to be strategic about how I tell the current slumlord. And I was going to tell him yesterday. I have a text message basically ready to copy and paste as my initial, and then I'm going to send him an email and a certified mail. If I feel like I need to go through the level of certified mail. It might not be a bad idea because I still have to go to the post office to make a return that I'm putting off. One of the bike parts that I bought, Amazon won't do a direct return because it's one of those third-party sellers, and it turned out to be a part. It'll fit both of my bikes. And I'm looking at I just don't have a need for it. I just don't have a need for it on either bike. And it's just gonna sit in a box and never get used except for like an emergency, oh crap, I need a chainring right away. Because the bike is unrideable because I broke teeth off a chainring or something like that. But I don't know. The only thing I could think of is a vintage mountain bike in the future. It could be a nice chainring for a vintage mountain bike sometime in the future. If I have a vintage mountain bike with a triple crank set, that could be a bigger chainring than it comes with. I don't know. Because I'm going to lose money when I send it back. That's the reason why I keep putting it off, because I'm going to have to pay the shipping to return it. Plus, I got to put it in an envelope. And so I'm going to be out like 10 to 15 bucks on a $50 return. I'm going to end up with 40 bucks or less coming back to me. It's going to take a week or two it's going to take at least 2 to 3 weeks to get my refund processed. And at some point, it's like, I don't know. If it was just a matter of going to Whole Foods and making a return like the rest of the stuff that I took back, that was pretty instantaneous and painless. I kept horse trading. I made a bunch of returns. I got Amazon credit. I spent the credit. Didn't like what I got. Took it all back. Got some more stuff. And now I'm happy with it. I ended up not getting a video camera. I'm just going to use the ones I have to watch this guy if he's going to do anything shady while the week is going on. I haven't told him yet, but I'm planning on letting him know tonight. I didn't want to tell him last night and then be gone all day today, because the guy is just too shady. I don't believe that he'll do anything. I think that he's going to make a bunch of threats, and he's going to threaten to sue me, and he's going to try and collect the rest of the money for the remainder of the lease at the new rate of pay that he wants me to pay. But he's already broke the law. He took 3 months to fix the hot water. He tried to jack up the rent in the middle of the lease term. He's brought people into the apartment unauthorized without letting me know, without telling me in advance. And I don't know if that's a violation of law here in Texas. I know that that's against the law in other states, but I think Texas, I kind of think that that's a moot point. But he's done a whole lot of things that are, I could just point out all kinds of violations. If he's really going to buckle down and try to go that route, I'm going to have to bitch slap the motherfucker in court. And I'm going to have to, literally go after everything I can possibly get him on. But I've made up my mind. All I want to do is walk away and just forget about it. Fine. If I get my security deposit or not, I mean, we all know how that's going to go. If I don't, he's not going to give it back unless I fight to get it back. The amount of money, I don't know if it's worth it. Like, for the amount of time it would take me to fight to get it back, I don't know if it's worth it. But, that's the only thing I have to do. But legally, it puts me in a better position if I give him some notice, rather than just, I was really hoping to just, on the last day of the month, move out, drop off the keys, and be like, here you go, bitch. Keys are on the table, or keys are in your lockbox. I won't be back. I'm just going to go from there. But, yeah, I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to be out of here. I have a good feeling that things are going to turn around when I get settled into the new place. There's going to be a lot of hassles. There's a lot of hassles that go with moving, especially with probation. You know, they're going to have to come over, inspect my place, and that's a thing I've got to, prepare for. I'm going to have to drink a shit ton of water, because he's probably going to be like, here, pee in this cup while I sit here and stare at you. And, that's not fun. It's like, I've barely taken a fucking Advil since I got out of prison, let alone drugs. So it's not like I'm worried about failing a drug test. It's just a hassle. It's a hassle that you have to deal with. Some of these, from what I hear, some of these probation officers are easier to deal with than others. This guy's pretty much by the book. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. He's never been a jerk to me. I would certainly not say that. But I mean, compared to the guy I was dealing with in Buffalo, New York, I felt like the guy in Buffalo, if I had gotten a job and, generally, started getting things together like I have down here, I'd never see the guy again. That was my thought. Maybe a surprise visit once in a while, and I have a feeling he would have been a proponent of allowing me to get early release, or pushing for me to be able to file a motion and have it supported. But that's one positive thing. Because I'm moving, I'm going to have to meet up with him. So I'm going to put it out there. That's a good time for me to say, look, I've been on probation for over a year. A year and almost 2 months. What do you say if I file a motion to get early release? Would you support it? Because that's pretty much where I feel like you have to start, is see if the probation officer will support it. I may have to file a motion either through, but I could probably do it on my own. But, the prosecutor could be a total prick. He kind of was. So, they really wanted to railroad me. They wanted to throw the book at me. Like, the prosecutors wanted me to go to jail for 10 years, 7 years. It's just, I was talking about recently that, and somebody commented on a recent video about answering all my questions about DoorDash and whatnot. And I'm like, yeah, you can scratch that. DoorDash told me no way. The guy who wrote mean tweets and went to prison for it, we're not, you can't deliver a bag of food to somebody. We won't approve you to do that. But I guarantee you they would let a fucking child molester pick up Happy Meals and deliver them to a nursery school. I'm sure DoorDash wouldn't have any problem with that. But the guy who wrote mean tweets, no, we're not going to let you do that. And I'd be doing it on a bicycle, which is totally legit. They have bicycle DoorDashers. If I'm in a populated area, they basically limit your radius to, your deliveries within 5 miles of where you're picking up the food, and they they won't let you pick up food that's not bike friendly. Like, they're not going to make you pick up soup. They're not going to make you pick up, things of pop and drinks, things like that, things that are going to spill, things that can't be carried on a bike. But other things, I don't even know if you could carry cookies from the bakery I work at on a bicycle. That really wouldn't even be that good. But either way, it's just whatever at this point. I was just looking at it in terms of potentially having the opportunity to go out and make a few bucks whenever I want, wherever I am. So I can focus on things at home, but if I need to get some hours in to make, Johnny Law happy and go dash around town delivering food, get those hours in. But I don't know. My next thing that I'm going to try out in that front is, once I get settled into the new place, I'm going to reach out to some temp agencies, because a temp agency might be able to get me a job or get me in the door somewhere without a crazy background check. Or they can filter the jobs that they'll send me to based on companies that do or don't give a shit about a background check. Warehouse job, whatever, manufacturing, a warehouse, food service, whatever it is. If I can make more money than I'm making now, it would be nice. But it's one stone it's one rock I haven't lifted up to see what's underneath. Don't leave a stone unturned, they say. That's a nice breeze coming through now. So, I don't know. I'm ready to be done with the long distance cycling. It's pros and cons. I like being out here. It's a beautiful day to be out riding my bike. I like doing it. I like it when I'm biking. I don't necessarily enjoy the ride home. The ride in typically helps me acclimatize to what I'm about to go through for the day. I hate waking up at 5 a.m, and I hate having to leave at 6:30. But give me 5 minutes on the bike, and about 5 minutes into the ride, I'm usually I'm cool with it by then. And by the time I get into the bakery, I'm feeling pretty good. And that exercise before going into work actually helps. It takes the sting out of going to work because you've already worked, and I feel like the bike ride is harder than the job in some ways. It's more physically demanding sometimes. And, I don't know, like the job, I certainly don't hate it. I like it more now than I did when I started. But they give me, I have more of a variety of things to do. So the day is, no 2 days are alike. I really never know what I'm getting into. Today, I worked on I worked on like 4 different things today throughout the course of the day. Totally different things. All of them time consuming and involved to the point where you don't really think about the time, and you're not watching the clock. If you're doing there's some boring things that they have, like when new people come in, we have them do some of the more menial tasks, and that's just the pecking order, and it's the way that we get people, up to speed, give them the simple, mundane stuff to start with, and work them up to where they're doing more complicated, involved things, because, you don't just want to throw somebody into making cheesecake in a giant mixer on day one. unless they have a lot of experience doing that stuff. You know, you might be doing crap like folding boxes and cleaning trays. You might be doing dishes, you know, on your first days. But now that I've been there a while, and you know, there's a level of trust, they can ask me to do pretty much anything, and I'm cool. And they know that I'm not going to get afraid, and they know that I'll ask questions. I'm not just going to jump into something and I don't make assumptions. If I don't know something, I'll go ask. You know, we all joke around. We have a good time with it, but you know, we were clowning around all day, making fun of each other. You know, just like good friends do. You know, when I was growing up, you would be able to tell, you would think that me and my best friends growing up all hated each other, the way we treated each other and made fun of each other and tortured each other. It was crazy. But, you know, guys do that. People that get along have that unwritten, to an extent, you're going to bust each other's balls. Sometimes it goes too far. You know, I've been guilty of that. It's been, you know, I've been guilty of it, and I've been.
We have to do my favorite song. What's that? Here's to Brother Hasher, Brother Hasher, Brother Hasher. Here's to Brother Hasher.
Anyway. Yeah. Anyhow. Oh, I forget what I lost my train of thought on that. Yeah. Well, and now they're sneaking off into the woods together. Wonder what's going to happen back there. Anyway, I think it might be time to just say sayonara, and we'll talk later on when I'm home. Peace out. What's up, everybody? I'm home. I don't even know where I left off in the video. I did get a nice comment today about how I need to hold my camera up in the air like a big girl on Tinder because my gizzard neck is irritating to look at. So I think I'm just gonna talk like this. I think I'm just gonna do the rest of the video like this and just let you look at that for a while. Maybe from that angle. I don't know. What do you think, guys? You think this is a good angle here? I think this is perfect. Just like this. I'll talk like this for the rest of the video. But anyway. Oh, look at that. If I go like that, it's just like Tinder. All I need is some cleavage down here, and I'll get me a hot date, huh? So, yeah, I'm home, and I saw the parking lot. I call it the parking lot. It's a driveway in front of the house. It's always full of cars because so many people live here. Everybody was here. I'm like, please don't. So there's this back patio behind the house, and more often than not, everybody is sitting out there on any given day. And I'm not even gonna send this guy a text tonight about me moving out. I need a no bullshit night. That's what I need. He did it himself. He did this to himself by treating me like shit and everybody else that lives here. This is the result of when you scam people and try to rip them off. They're going to turn, I'm going to protect myself. It's like, I'm really torn in the direction of, do I give this guy any notice or do I just disappear and move out on the last day of the month? But I think I'm going to do it tomorrow morning. I just want to enjoy this evening. I don't want to be dealing with any retaliatory bullshit tonight. So I've made up my mind on that. But yeah, it's like I get home and I don't even want to. Now I'm looking at my neck, my gizzard. Is that a gizzard or whatever? My turkey gobbler or whatever that thing is. Whatever. It's because I'm losing weight. That used to be like just a blob of fat. Now it's just a blob of saggy skin. What are you gonna do? I'm 49 years old. Like, I got, last time I looked in my pockets. I looked in all the boxes. I looked in this pile of clothes here. I don't have any fucks to give about any of it. So maybe when I'm at my new place, I'll make sure that I have the right pose and the right chair, and I'll get a fancy bookshelf with a bunch of books that I've never read and a bunch of knickknacks and doodads on the bookshelf, and my special podcast mic and all the things that I'm supposed to have to do a proper YouTube channel. But right now I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do it the way I'm just gonna do what I do, and see what happens. There's some interesting things going on. I don't know when this is going to air, but it's gonna be like within the next week. I think tomorrow being Sunday, it's generally when I try to queue up a bunch of videos to release throughout the week. And I might just kind of do that from now on. I think I've got different ideas on what I want to do with this channel. Or like which tangents, like which kinds of videos I think I could do. And one of my ideas, I would need a little bit of gear, not much. But I'm on a tight budget. And speaking of that, there's a guy in the comments who keeps telling me that his father passed away and has it was a 1996 Honda Accord that he wants to throw my way. Wow. And either that, or if I don't want it, he's going to donate it to charity. And so I'm definitely interested. Somebody else saw this and reached out through the chicken bucket to help try to make that reality. And I would like to, since two people have been really, really like, wow, like the generosity is like, my mind is blown right now. I would like to use the, funds that came in through the chicken bucket to, to do the thing with the car. Because that was the intended purpose. And, but needless to say, if that, because the guy says I would have to arrange to have the car brought from where it is to here in Houston, and that could probably cost a significant amount of money, but certainly cheaper than buying a car. Those mid-90s Hondas are pretty reliable. One of my former friends has I'm going to say it's a late 90s Accord stick shift, probably pretty much the same. It's hard to, I don't know I don't know which I know which year it is. The guy told me 96. But in my head, I don't know if those are the boxy ones or if those are the more aerodynamic, sleek, I don't know, shapely ones, because I know a lot of people who have had Honda Civics, Accords. I've driven a bunch of them. But like the mid-90s, everybody was getting Hondas and Toyotas because they're reliable. The fact that the thing is still running in 2025 tells you that. these old Hondas and these old Toyotas, those are some vehicles that don't die. Like I've been saying, I kind of had made up my mind that when and if I started looking for a vehicle around here in Houston, I was gonna try and get an old, like a 90s Cherokee, 1995 to 2000 Cherokee XJ, because in terms of a nice four-wheel drive vehicle, they're pretty bomb-proof, they're reliable. I owned one. I know how reliable they are. I put mine through some horrendous abuse, and it just kept going and going and going. Did not. It didn't even look. I mean, it looked brand new when I bought it, but I put it through some paces, and it was. You could not make this thing not. You couldn't do anything to it to make it not start and run. It got stolen. It was in a high-speed police chase. They crashed it into a. They crashed it and caught it on fire. The fire department had to come put it out, and I was able to start it up. As soon as I stuck a screwdriver in the ignition, gave it a pull, it started right up. Like it didn't even give a fuck. It did not care. I got into an accident. I slid down a hill and smacked into a curb really hard and did some serious damage to the tie rods and various components around the axle and wheel, and I had to go in limp mode to get back up to where my house was at the top of the hill. I was taking my daughter to school, and we lost control. It was an ice-covered hill in the middle. Pittsburgh is a very hilly city. I started going down a hill. It was winter. It was icy. As soon as I went like 4 feet, I tried to stop, and at that point there was no stopping, and I just flew down the hill. The only thing I could have done, but it was automatic. But if I had a stick shift, I had a similar incident in I was driving a Kia, some sort of Kia, front wheel drive, stick shift, and I lost control going down a hill. Same thing in Pittsburgh. But I threw it into reverse and floored it. I put the car in reverse and just slammed the gas to the floor. And the backwards spinning of the tires slowed the descent of the car down the hill. It was kind of like skiing. It was like car skiing. And I was able to slow the descent to the point where I couldn't stop the car from going down the hill, no matter what. It was too steep, and it was too much. It was stupid to try and go down this hill, but if I had tried to pump the brakes or use the brakes in any way, all it would have done was put the car into a slide. We would have slammed into a guardrail at the bottom of the hill going like 40 miles an hour. But instead, I put the car in reverse, slammed on the gas to the point where it was like probably 3,000 RPMs in reverse, just wah! And the car just came to a nice slow descent. And when I got to the bottom of the hill, the car just stopped. Like I was able to stop the car and ease off the gas. In fact, the tires bit through the snow and started to squeal on the pavement towards the bottom of the hill. But with the speed, I slowed the speed of the car down to the point where we weren't in any trouble. And I was able to put the car back in first and just creep the rest of the way to where we had to go without really losing any more, control. Because I still had to go down yet another hill, but it wasn't as steep. And I was able to control the speed a little bit more. Plus, the city had come and plowed that street, and so it was salted and it wasn't as bad. But that was something I couldn't do in the Cherokee, or at least I didn't think to do it. I could have possibly, if I was crafty enough, I could have thrown that thing in 4-wheel drive and just floored it in reverse, and but that would have taken some quick reflexes to pull something like that off. But it is a trick. If it is a trick that worked, if you can maneuver fast enough, if you catch yourself going out of control down a hill like that, it might save you. It saved my ass. It saved that car. That car would have been totaled if I didn't do that. And there was no damage to the car. The car was fine. But yeah, those old Hondas, everybody I know has had one. I've never owned one. I owned a Toyota, and I owned like a mid-'80s Toyota Tercel, and that thing wouldn't die. You couldn't make that thing. You couldn't make it break down if you tried. It wasn't the fastest car out there for sure, but it served its purpose well, and it was given to me at one point in my life. I was in a pickle and I needed a car. Someone gave me that car. They couldn't get rid of it because it was a stick shift. Nobody wanted it. So the fact that they could give it to somebody, they were like, "Oh, you drive a stick? I got a car for you here." It was like that. It came out of nowhere. It was awesome. They were like thrilled. They had like 4 cars they were trying to give away. They couldn't find anybody to take them. So I took it. And then when I was done with it, I gave it to a good friend of mine who was going through a spell. And he drove it for over a year. And I think it started to have some issues when he got rid of it. But he traded it in and got a pickup truck. He got like a Nissan Frontier or something like that. So, I don't know. But yeah, those mid-'90s Hondas are cool. I would totally be down with that. Like, I can visualize right now just how having I'm telling you, if I get a car and if I can get a car that I can trust enough to just, drive somewhere, a decent distance, I honestly think the first thing I might do is like pack a little bit of camping gear and go camp down on Galveston Island and just camp on the beach for a few days and just relax and just sit by a campfire and like enjoy life for a minute and just get away from it all. And then just the fact that I'm moving into a decent place, a Honda, you'd be amazed at how much you can, you'd be amazed at the things you can fit. If it's a hatchback, you'd be amazed at the things you can fit in a hatchback. Like the ability to very cost effectively get things that I need for a new place to live, having a vehicle to drive around and pick things up with, and just all the opportunities, all the things, all the doors that would open up for me. Like, I could pick different shifts at the bakery. I could keep that job, but I could pick days where I just go in and work. Like, I could like go in and work open to close on some days and just make as much money, do like a long ass couple of days a week, and having to drive, it's like a half hour to drive there. Maybe I would give it a half hour to drive there versus an hour and a half on the bike. I could work an extra 2 hours and leave and come back at the same time. Like, I don't know, like I could work closing shifts. I could work my day. I could do things during the day to make money. I don't know. There's just so many different things that would open up an opportunity for. Like, just being able to go grocery shopping and like a normal human being. And just like come home and relax. Like, I enjoy riding my bicycle. I enjoy it, but it does take its toll. It takes its toll. Now, I mean, I was telling you about a guy yesterday who I was sharing this story at the bakery today. I'm like, I guess I'm not shit because there's that firefighter who rides his bike 75 miles each way to his job. But firefighters typically I've known firefighters. I've known like lots of firefighters in my life. I'm not going to call people's names out or whatever, but both like at the volunteer level and professional firefighters. And firefighters like in the city and whatnot, they typically go to work and they're gone for like 3 or 4 days, and that's their stint for the week. They live at the firehouse, they sleep there, they're doing whatever they got to do. Their job, they work a certain number of hours, training, taking care of the trucks, winding up hoses, doing whatever the fuck they do, cleaning, maintenance, I don't know, all whatever you do at the fire hall. And then then when the alarm goes off, you're sliding down the pole and off you go. And so this guy's not riding 75 miles to work a 9 to 5 and then turning around and riding home. So I don't know. I mean, 75, if he does that twice in a week, that's 150 miles in a week cycling. Now, me going to the bakery twice, that's 80 miles. But if I do that 4 times in a week, that's 160 miles. And I've done it up to 5 to 6 times. I've done it 5 times in a week, sometimes 6. I've done it 5 times in a week for sure. And, that's 200 miles for that week. So maybe I am just as badass as that firefighter. Because they really didn't. The news article. I'm gonna have to look this guy up because I just feel like, I think you can find him on Strava. Probably find him on Strava. I think his name, and there was enough in that news article I could find him on Strava and just see what the hell this is all about. Because he's not riding 150 miles a day and being a firefighter. But I could totally see doing that if you were going to work for like 3 days and then having to come back home. I could see that. Like, I could be like, all right, yeah, that's a long ride, but, riding in on day 1, getting there bright, leaving at 2 in the morning, getting there at 7 or whatever the fuck, and then, you're going to sleep well that night, and, working your firefighter shift for 3 days, 24, 48, whatever it is, 72 hours shit swing or whatever. I don't know exactly how many days they work, but then having to get on the bike and go home, that's a little bit more of that's going to hurt a little more, in my opinion. But I guess it depends on, when you get done. If you get done at noon if your shift is done at noon, I don't know when the shift would be over, but I mean, if you're leaving at 5 in the afternoon, you're not getting home till like 11, 12 o'clock at night, and then how many days do you get off before you gotta turn around and ride back? But I guess if you don't have a bunch of crap to do at home, except rest and get ready for your next shift, I guess that would work. I don't know, or maybe... I'm assuming this dude was riding a nice bike. I mean, his bike was like $6,000 to $10,000. I could see a picture of it. I don't know exactly what bike it was, but it was like a Cervelo carbon fiber tricked out road bike. $6,000 or more. So, but he was averaging, I saw his Strava readout was saying 19 miles an hour average. Which, I mean, on a bike like that, if you're in shape, it's totally doable. Um, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I could feel the headwind today, and I was like, you know what? I'm taking the woodsy route. I took the bike trails. The bike trails are more dangerous than the roads going through the woodlands. I think I'm done. I can't say I'm done because sometimes it's just the variety. I wasn't gonna go fast because of the headwinds, so I was like, I'm just gonna ride the shady bike trail. But people come flying down that fucking bike trail on their e-bikes all over the side of the road, riding on the wrong side of the trail. Like I'm gonna hit somebody head on that bike path. Like that bike path's a death trap. Somebody's gonna get their dog run over. Some bimbo from the woodlands pushing a couple babies in one of those side by side baby strollers. Some little baby's gonna get run over by someone on an e-bike. I guarantee you, it's just a matter of time. As people come flying down that trail on their e-bikes, going on the wrong side of the trail. There's so many blind turns. It's like a rich asshole fancy sidewalk, so they make it twist and turn through the trees for no reason. And there's blind turns all over the place, but people are zipping through there 40 miles an hour. So it's on the e-bikes. And every time I go around a blind turn on my bike, I'm just like, please, God, please, God, please. And I'm telling you, I've had so many near misses. People riding on the wrong side of the trail. And I'm just like, I think I'm done. I mean, for the most part, I don't think I'm going to ride the bike paths through the woodlands anymore. The people in these fucking people in the suburbs are so inconsiderate. I got honked at twice, like belligerently honked at twice today in the woodlands by these arrogant scumbags that live in that fucking woodlands. I fucking hate the woodlands. I think the woodlands is like hell on earth. Any of these fucking yuppie housing complexes, these planned communities, they're just full of fucking assholes. The woodlands, the villages, there's a bunch of them, and those are the two most famous ones that I know of. Like, they're just full of arrogant douchebags. I fucking hate these places. But I'm on the shoulder of the road, opposite the white line. It's a 2-lane road in the direction I'm going. This morning, someone comes right up on me and starts blaring their fucking horn and acting all belligerent. Motherfucker had 2 lanes. 2 lanes of a fucking road. There's nobody on the fucking road. It's Saturday morning. And this stupid piece of fucking suburban shit had to just try and run me off the road and start blaring on the fucking horn because you're just a dumb hillbilly piece of shit from Texas. You can go fuck yourself. Like, all you fucking assholes in the woodlands can go eat a dick. I'm so sick of you fucking people. No fucking reason. No fucking reason. I wasn't even in the lane. I'm on, like, some of these roads have a decent shoulder. Some of the roads that have shoulders, the shoulders all beat the fuck up, so I stay in the lane. But not this road. This road's a little bit wider. There's 2 lanes plus a shoulder. There's only one spot where the shoulder is all crummy, and so sometimes I'll take the lane and then go back into the shoulder. But I was on the shoulder, way over, on the opposite side of the white line. This motherfucker, Dodge Ram, lifted up fucking Dodge Ram pickup truck. Motherfucker probably just got done beating his wife, and now he's on his way to the fucking grocery store to get his Coors Light or whatever. And he had both fucking lanes of the road to pass me. He had a 2-lane road, totally to himself. I'm on the fucking shoulder. Motherfucker still had to try and blare on his fucking horn, try and run me off the road. I swear to fucking God, thank your lucky stars that I'm not allowed to carry a fucking gun, because at some point, You belligerent fucking pieces of shit would push me over the fucking edge. I'm telling you, I'm fucking sick of you people. And then the same thing happened on my way home today. I was on the same road. It's always the same road. It's always this one it's called Gosling Road. It's the same fucking road every time. Today, now the part of the road that I was on doesn't have a shoulder. There's no shoulder, so I'm over to the right. But there's a bunch of sewer grates that'll fucking suck your bike right out from under you. So I have to go around those. That's Texas. That's the city of Houston, or that's the Woodlands, or whoever the fuck. It's not my fault. Learn how to build a fucking road, assholes. But I was off to the side. Some belligerent piece of shit in a hillbilly pickup truck had to go blaring on his fucking horn trying to run me off the road. But he still had 2 lanes. I was off to the right on the right-hand lane, and this motherfucker had to try and run me off the road, even though he had the left lane. He had the left lane to pass me. He didn't even have to be in the right lane. But some of these stupid hillbilly cowboy hat wearing dumb pieces of shit, they think that you shouldn't be on the fucking road. This is my road. This is my road. This is for pickup trucks and cowboy hats and leather boots and horses and cows. That's what. It ain't for you. It ain't for you. You. Well, I'm not gonna say the word, but you know what I was about to say. It begins with F. And but anyway, I'm sick and tired of these stupid fucking Texas hillbilly assholes. I'm so fed up with them. It's fucking weird. The Woodlands is the shittiest place. I fucking hate it. The only positive thing about it is at least the roads that are in the Woodlands have shoulders. As soon as you leave the Woodlands, the roads don't have shoulders anymore. But I was going down the Spring Creek Greenway, and you saw me sitting on the park bench there. And my arm's getting tired, so I'm giving it a switch here. But you saw me on that, chilling in the Spring Creek Greenway, sitting on that swinging bench. And there was a group of these yuppies that, when I finally was like ready to peace out, all these fucking yuppies showed up. They must have been out hiking in a group or something, because they act a certain way when they're all in a group together, and they're just like fucking weirdos, and like they're not my people at all. I've gone on group hikes like that in Pittsburgh, and it's like you meet some cool people, and if you go to these big group hikes and stuff like that, you can sniff out. You can meet cool people, and you can sniff some things out, or in some cases, I could find new trails or find new hikes to take people on by going hiking with these douchebags. And then I could like get my friends together, the cool people that like to go hike and do cool stuff like that. And I could be like, check out this hike and meet me at this spot and we'll do this cool ass hike. And because, I learned where this was because I went with a group of douchebags to do it. But anyway, I'm on the fucking trail. And it's a wide bike trail. Now the Spring Creek Trail is wide. Like really wide. Not as wide as a road, but it's big. Like it's not like the Woodlands bike paths where they're skinny and there's blind turns. No, this is like really like a safe bicycle trail, and you can see far ahead. There's no blind turns. It's wide enough for people to pass each other and whatnot. Well, anyway, this group of fucking suburban douchebags that were out on a hike or whatever, I go around this one fucking turn, and they literally had camp chairs set up in a fucking circle in the middle of the fucking trail. And I'm looking at him like, get the fuck out of the way. I'm like, you're all in the, like, what the fuck are you all doing? And like, I wasn't the only one pissed. Other people were coming by on their bicycles and whatnot, One dude had a fucking whistle, and he was just like, with his fucking whistle, like blaring his fucking whistle at these people. But like this, now, and the funny thing is, there was a spot for all these stupid yuppie douchebags to get off the fucking trail and set up a circle of camp chairs off to the side of the trail in freshly mowed grass. There was a whole area that they could have made their fucking little powwow. But no, these fucking bags of shit had, these fucking suburban dick suckers had to get in the middle of the fucking trail with camp chairs and set up a big fucking circle, and they're having like, they're all fucking singing granola bar songs and shit, like songs from the granola bar commercial and whatnot. And I'm like, you fucking assholes. Like, you're seriously gonna take up the whole fucking trail with a circle of fucking camp? Are you gonna have a campfire right in the middle of the fucking bike trail next? Someone gonna break out a fucking guitar and a harmonica while they sing the Cashy theme song for the granola bar commercial? Like, seriously, you fucking assholes. Fuck you. I'm so sick of you fucking suburban. These people from the fucking suburbs have absolutely no fucking sense that there's other people in the world that they have to share the world with. It's the same situation of getting honked at in the Woodlands when this fucking dickbag in a Dodge Ram had two fucking lanes of a road to go by me. But he saw me on the road, on the shoulder, off to the side, and he had to make a big fucking deal out of it and try to run me off the road and scream and yell and honk his fucking horn. I mean, up to that point, I was like, a nice peaceful ride. I wasn't getting messed with. It was a nice quiet ride. I was enjoying my podcast. I was, just chilling. But as soon as that dickhead showed up, it fucking ruined it. I was pissed off. I was ready. Like, it's a good thing that cars go faster than a bike, because, like, you get my adrenaline that pumped up. Like, all I'm saying is it's a good thing. It's a good thing, because I would just want to go up to his fucking window, reach in, grab him by the fucking neck, and just yank him out of his truck. Like, these people are such fucking inconsiderate scumbags. I fucking hate them. I fucking hate these people in the suburbs. And you can't just sit here and say every single person that lives in the suburbs is a dickhead. If that were the case, every single person that drove by me on these roads would be honking and screaming at me. And that's not the case. It happened twice today. Once on the way in, once on the way home. Same scenario almost every single time. It's almost the exact same vehicle every single time. I mean, it's just, how many times have you... I mean, I'm telling you that I've seen this all over... I've been all over the country driving, and it's almost always the same fucking asshole out on the road. It's the guy in the big lifted Dodge Ram pickup truck blowing the black smoke, throwing fucking road rage temper tantrums, trying to pass everybody on the fucking road, and getting all fucking road rage and angry and screaming and yelling when he can't find his way, like if someone's hogging the left lane. And maybe someone's in the left lane, the passing lane, and maybe they're going 20 miles an hour over the speed limit, and they're actually passing people, but this fucking bag of shit in the Dodge Ram needs to go faster than that, so he's going to tailgate the guy in the left lane. You know what I'm saying? Like, screaming and yelling, flashing his fucking bright lights, honking his... How many times you see the fucking dickbag in the Dodge Ram out on the highway acting like a belligerent, road-raging asshole? You all see it. You all have... Every single one of you have seen this. Because I see it everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. I cannot drive... If I go on a day-long drive, if I drive to, like, where I'm driving all day, nonstop, to get from point A to B or whatever, going across state lines, whatever, it's a guarantee. It's a guarantee I'm going to see the fucking dickbag in a Dodge Ram throwing a fucking temper tantrum going down the fucking road. Having to be the fastest one on the road and throwing, like, swerving all over the place, honking his horn, flashing his lights, driving on the fucking shoulder, like trying to, just acting like brake checking people, tailgating people, doing whatever the fuck he can do to be a piece of shit. I'm telling you, I've seen it in every fucking city, every town, every highway, every state. They're everywhere. It's like I'm telling you, man, it's like the truck for the wife-beaten drunk hillbilly. It's like that's like that's the ride. It's like the only thing they can. It's the only thing they ever want to buy when they go to the dealership. Well, if you don't got a big lifted Dodge Ram blowing a big cloud of black smoke, I don't want that shit. Hurry up! I gotta get home to beat my wife. We gotta get this paperwork done. My wife needs a broken nose before dinner. Like, what the fuck, man? These people. But then you got these inconsiderate assholes that live in the suburbs and they think, oh, the bike trail is our place to hang out. We're just gonna pull up a bunch of camp chairs and we're just gonna make a big circle, maybe have a fire. And it's like they're like, I don't know, you've seen me sitting on the bench. And how many times you see me shooting a video on that bench and people are zipping by on the bikes behind me? It's a busy trail. On Saturday, it's a busy trail. I see the same bikers all the time. Like, I recognize so many people as I'm zipping up and down that trail. But maybe at 6 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, it's not that busy. But I do see some regulars out there. I see the same faces when I'm out there commuting. But on nice afternoons, around 5 o'clock or so, that's usually 5, 6 o'clock. That's between 5 and 6 o'clock is when I'm rolling through there. It's busy. It's busy. There's bikers going both directions, hikers, people on scooters, e-bikes, walking their dogs, joggers, dude on a fucking tricycle, a grown man on a fucking tricycle. You've got that. Like, I got in a race with one of those. I wasn't going to let that motherfucker beat me. I'm not getting beat by some douchebag on a tricycle, for crying out loud. But he did put up a fight. I had to wait until I got to the hill climb to beat him. But to shake him off my tail to where I couldn't see him in the rear view mirror. I don't have a mirror, but I couldn't see him when I turned around anymore. But it's a busy trail. It's a busy trail. People are coming and going, and there's traffic. So, yeah, let's just get a group of us fucking these douchebag assholes. Oh, bring your camp chair. Bring, a couple of these fucking dudes were just laying down in the middle of the fucking trail. Just laying on the fucking trail. And I'm just like, I made the move. I was yelling at them as I'm coming up. I'm like, hey, I'm coming through. I'm not getting off the fucking trail. I'm like, I'll fucking bunny hop one of you motherfuckers. And if you get a wheel in your gut, so be it. So be it. You might get a fucking tire in the face. I'll try to bunny hop you. But if my back wheel comes down on your fucking neck, well, don't lay down in the fucking trail. How about that? Shit, man. They did this the shit these fucking yuppies do, and they do it everywhere. Everywhere. Anywhere you're on like a public pathway like that, if you're in a suburb, it's all you're gonna fucking see is these stupid douchebags that have no consideration for other people at all. At all. It's just like riding on a fucking road. Stay to the right. Whatever direction you're going, stay to the right. People coming from the opposite direction, they stay to the right. It's just like being on a road. But like these yuppies, they'll get in groups, they'll get in their bicycling groups, and they'll take up the entire width of the trail. They'll ride 3 abreast, 4 people deep, instead of riding single file or even double abreast. They'll take up the whole width of the trail, and then somebody's coming in the opposite direction, and like on the like on the Great Allegheny Passage going from Pittsburgh to DC, most of that trail, you have visibility of at least a quarter mile because it's railroad. It's an old railroad, so the turns aren't sharp and the grades aren't steep. So therefore, there's no blind turns. You can see at least a quarter mile ahead pretty much anywhere you are. And so you'll see a group of these fucking dickbags in the suburb. And whenever you're in a suburb, whenever you're in the suburbs, you'll see on a Sunday afternoon, a Saturday afternoon, whatever, you see a group of these fucking douchebag suburban assholes riding in a group, taking up the whole width of the fucking trail. 10 or 15 of them taking the whole width of the trail. They're all going the same direction. When you're going the opposite direction, you'll see them a quarter mile away. A quarter mile. And they won't make any fucking effort to move over to the side. All you gotta do is go single file or double file until the other people come in the opposite direction past you, and then you can go back to filling up the trail. You can see a quarter mile, and you have a quarter mile to figure this shit out. You got a couple minutes from when you see that there's someone coming in the opposite direction. You got a minute or two to stretch out and go single file. Everybody move over to the right side of the trail. Give the people coming the opposite direction room to pass. They won't do it. It'll be like playing chicken. And I'm just like, you know what? I'll just start ringing my bell obnoxiously, like ching 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 ching. I'm like, I'm not stopping, motherfuckers, because I know that ultimately they're gonna move out of my way. If it means they have to get off the trail and throw a fit as I go by, like the people on the left side of the trail that I'm gonna collide with, they'll have to get off the trail to the left and just like put in, and then they'll get all mad like, and I'm like, well, you fucking dumb pieces of shit could have got out of you had a quarter fucking mile to move into single file formation. It's not that hard. You just coast, and everybody leaves a little bit of gaps, and everybody kind of slides their bikes and so that you're riding in a single file line. If you're on a bicycle, riding in a group that this isn't hard, make room for the other people coming the opposite direction to go by you. But no, these fucking bags. If you're not in the suburbs, if you're out in rural country, people will move. They make room. They don't care. You'll be like, hey, what's up? And you'll wave and you'll give the nod and all that. Good, nice day, and all that kind of stuff. And hey, how's it going? It's only in the suburbs or the areas where the people from the suburbs drive down to go on a short little bike ride in some town. So there's a town on the bike trail called Ohio Pile. It's in Pennsylvania. It's not in Ohio. It's an Indian name. The word Ohio is some sort of Indian name. I don't know what it means, but Ohio Pile is a town in Pennsylvania where this Great Allegheny Passage bicycle trail goes through. Plus, it's a whitewater rafting destination. And so those two things bring a lot of people to the town. Plus, Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water House, the most famous house in the world, is right there, just up the street from that town. And there's another Frank Lloyd Wright house there. Plus, there's a famous cave called Laurel Caverns. There's Ohio Pile State Park with all kinds of hiking trails. So it's a mecca. It's a destination. The town's got a couple of restaurants, wilderness outfitters, bike shops, that kind of stuff. And so these yuppies from the suburbs drive down there on the weekend to go on a little bike ride up and down the trail. And so as you're coming into that town, you'll find these groups of assholes filling up the trail, taking the whole width of the fucking trail, and you're going the opposite direction, you're going to collide with them. They won't get out of the fucking way. Like, that's just rude and obnoxious and inconsiderate. Because there's a lot of people in this town riding up and down the fucking trail. If you're watching this video and you've been there, if you've ridden the Great Allegheny Passage, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you've ever ridden the Great Allegheny Passage from Pittsburgh to Washington, D.C., you know that around the area of McKeesport, you're going to deal with this shit. When you get to Ohiopyle, you're going to deal with this shit. You might deal with it a little bit in Myersdale. You're definitely going to deal with it in Cumberland. And then as you get to like Great Falls of the Potomac, as you're coming into D.C. and you get to the D.C. suburbs, that you're going to see some serious assholes all over the trail doing that kind of shit. But everything in between those places I told you about, it's a relaxing, chill. Pretty much everybody that you encounter is going to be really cool and want to talk, and either that or, you know, nobody's going to be a bag of shit and take up the whole fucking trail with their group and make it so that nobody can pass. Or we're going to stop and have a snack, so let's just park our bikes and sit right in the middle of the fucking bike trail. Here, let's grab our camp chairs and just make a circle of camp chairs right in the middle of the fucking bike trail when there's, you know, a couple hundred people on bikes that are trying to go back. It would literally be like, it's not much different than taking your fucking camp chairs and, you know, parking in the middle of the fucking highway and just saying, let's make a circle of camp chairs right in the middle of the Route 45 interstate. We'll just sit here on our camp chairs. We'll get a little campfire going, get a banjo, get some harmonicas, pass a bag of granola around, and you know, oh, somebody brought a tambourine, awesome, and we're gonna have a good old time just sitting here relaxing. Like, who the fuck does that? But I don't know, man. There's just people have gone full retard. Like, I'm telling you, I did my fucking laundry the other day. And I come back and I'm like, I pull my clothes out of the dryer and I'm like, why the fuck can't I get my clothes back in the bag? Like, did something blow up in the dryer? I'm like, well, maybe I just had them rolled up and balled up tighter. And so I get back to the tiny house here and I'm sitting here and I wasn't even like, I still haven't folded the clothes. You can see them in the background there. Look at that. It's a pile, and maybe tomorrow. But, that was Thursday I did that. No, I didn't fold my clothes yesterday. I just let them sit there. I did other things. But, you know, maybe tomorrow. It won't take long. It'll take about 20 minutes probably. But anyway, somebody knocks on the door. He's like, hey, man, I need my clothes back. He's like, oh, yeah. He's like, I went and threw some of my clothes in while you were washing your clothes. And so I need to get those back. So I didn't even notice when I was putting the clothes from the washer into the dryer, someone else had thrown their fucking clothes in the washing machine while I was doing my fucking laundry. And I'm just like, what in the fuck is going on? Get me the fuck out of this place, man. Holy shit. Holy shit, man. Like, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I've never done, but I'm not walking up to somebody's fucking load of laundry and being like, oh, here, I'm going to throw all my clothes in with yours. I wouldn't even do that at my own house. If my kid was doing laundry, I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm going to throw my stuff in with yours. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God. But I don't know. It's almost over. It's almost over. There's light at the end of the tunnel. God's telling me to just relax, have faith. He's going to take care of it all. He's telling me not to worry about it. Every time I do get worried about one thing or another, he shows me that there was nothing to worry about. Stop doing it. Is it the place that I wanted the most? No. But now that I'm settled into it, I've signed the lease, now that it's real, um, I'm starting to see that this was probably the better option. One of the things I thought was the case that's not, the landlord doesn't live on the property. He lives in the same neighborhood, but I have his address because it's on the lease. And I looked up his address and I'm like, oh, okay, there's where he lives. So he doesn't live on the property where I'm moving to. So he might come over there and do things from time to time, but I don't have to like walk past him on, like, I don't have to see him on a regular basis. Like every day. Like here, to get to the tiny house, when I come home, I've got to walk past this house. And there's a back patio on the house, and most of the time people are out there hanging out, including the landlord. Not all the time, but there are times I just want to go. I don't want to have to deal with other people. And I just want to, it's like when I lived at when I had my own house. It was like, I didn't have to like, I could come home from wherever I was, and maybe the neighbors would be outside and we'd wave because they were nice and we had, we were cool with each other. But they were so far away I couldn't like hear them if they said anything, and vice versa. Um, and it's I can't even explain it. It's just weird and it sucks. It's like one step removed from, and I would never do this. I would never do this because there's so many of these when you look on places to rent. I figured out how to use Facebook Marketplace to find places for rent. There's a few tricks to it. And when I was looking for this place, well, when I moved to Houston, up until I moved into this place, it didn't make any sense to me. I couldn't figure out how to use it to find what I was wanting to find. To be honest, I probably could have moved out of my friend's house sooner than I did if I had figured out how to use this shit better. But over the last couple of months, from the beginning of April to today, I think I've got some techniques down that made it a lot easier for me to find places to move and to find what I was looking for and to weed out what I wasn't looking for. Because it's so full of like people have a room for rent in their house. And this was like the thing that would pop up over and over again. Basically, don't use the map view. There's in Marketplace for apartment listings, there's a view that shows a map, and it shows a bunch of dots all over the map with the price tag, or it'll say it'll have like a dollar sign with a number. I'm telling you, every single time, at least for Houston, every single time you click on one of those things on the map, it's 99% of the time it's a room for rent in someone's house and not an actual apartment, not a house, not an individual unit, but a bedroom in a house that's shared with multiple people. So you're sharing a bathroom, you're sharing a kitchen, you're sharing whatever. You basically have a bedroom. And I'm not doing that shit. Fuck that. Because a lot of those cost just as much as an apartment. I'd rather have a shitty apartment in the ghetto than share a house and have a bedroom in a nice house in the woodlands. I mean, if I had to choose, I'll have my own place in the ghetto that's my place before I would have a bedroom in some nice fancy McMansion in the woodlands. I would do that every time. I wouldn't even consider, I wouldn't even go look at the bedroom. That doesn't mean I want to live in the ghetto. But what I'm saying is, I figured out how to use Marketplace to find what I'm looking for within a radius of where I'm trying to look from. And I was able to pretty much find what's available in different neighborhoods. Other real estate things like Zillow, fucking useless. Don't I mean, and it depends on what you're looking for, but Zillow was a waste of time, complete waste of time. Every single listing, and I mean every single rental listing on Zillow, every single one of them was a real estate agent advertising it, either, I don't know if for their own business or for a property owner or whatever. And these real estate agents are shitty to deal with. They're terrible to deal with. Every single time I've gotten into a conversation with one of those, it's a waste of my time. Like, total waste of my time. And so, and the places didn't even look that nice. And these real estate agents, they want you to jump through so many fucking hoops. It's like, no, I'm done. Forget it. I'm trying to go straight to the property owner and deal right from the source, not dealing with some asshole real estate agent that wants me to jump through 50 fucking hoops and go through more hell and jump through more hoops than they would make me jump through when buying a house just to get a fucking rental unit. No. Craigslist, hit or miss if you can weed out all the spam, because the property listings on Craigslist are full of shitty spam ads from shitty apartment complexes that drown out any decent finds. But unfortunately, I found this place on Craigslist. At the time I found it, it was a good find, because I wasn't finding anything worth finding up until that point. But if I knew then what I knew now, in terms of, if I knew then what I know now, in terms of how to use the tools, I probably could have found something better. But for the price, I had to up my ante a little bit to find a better place than this. I mean, there wasn't anything that I was going to find in the price range where I'm at. And, Texas real estate taxes are so ridiculous that everything, even from when I was looking, when I found this place, prices have gone up just in the last few months that I've been here. Because I'm not finding anything at all in the price range that I was looking at when I moved in here. But back when I moved in here, there were tons of things available in that price range. Now everything's gone up by $200-300. So I don't know. I don't think I did bad on the new place, especially considering what he wants me to pay to live here. I'm paying $50 more a month for rent for a much nicer place, and I'll have to pay the electric bill, and I don't know how much that'll be. We'll see. But even if it's $150 more than what this bag of shit wants to charge for this dump. If the electric bill is $100 a month, then it's $150 more. And I have an actual bathroom, a bedroom, and an open room with it's like I got 3 big ass rooms. Not big, but big enough. The main room of the house is bigger than the tiny house that I'm living in now. I'll measure it just to make sure, but I know this tiny house is 10 feet wide. I just don't know how long it is. And I'm pretty sure that the main room in the house I'm moving into is bigger than this tiny house. So, and that's just one of 3 rooms. I'm excited. I think I could have, I don't know. That garage apartment was nice, but at the same time, the move-in costs were going to be ridiculously high. much more than what I'm paying to move into this place. But the rent wasn't too bad because all the utilities were included. So at the end of the day, a little bit more than what I'm moving into, but definitely would have been like worth it in my opinion. Um, but you know, this place I'm moving into, I feel like it will work. I think it's a nice move up. It's a change of pace. It's better, and you know, if something better comes along at some point, I'm really not. I don't want to move, but if for some reason I'm able to figure out how to go and move into a house, if I can find a place big enough where my son could come and spend time with me and have his own space and his own bedroom, and we both have enough room in the place to, you know, feel like we're at home and it's not cramped and crowded and feeling like we're, you know, staying in a hotel room or campsite, you know, but like a legit space that has enough room for him to come and spend time, be it the summer, be whatever. Um, if something like that, if an opportunity comes along like that, I'm going to jump on it and do whatever I have to do to make it happen. But for the time being, I don't want to move. I want to move into this place that I'm leaving to move into and be done with this shit for a while. I signed a 1-year lease. And for me to break the lease and get out of it, I'm pretty locked in. But I don't look at that as a bad thing, because that means I'm also, he would have a hard time kicking me out as long as I pay my rent and all my bills, you know. And so and this is a real lease. Like, this lease was 17 pages long. It wasn't like some homegrown fucking lease that someone typed up in Google Docs with a bunch of fucking misspelled words and shit that don't make this fucking dingbat here. Oh my god, it's fucking retard. But anyway, I'll see what he does. I'm telling him tomorrow. I'm gonna relax tonight. I'm gonna chill. I just do not want. I can't deal with drama tonight. I'm too tired for that. Tomorrow, I'll be able to deal with it. I'll reach out to him sometime after I have my coffee and get squared away. I'll let him know, you know. Oh yeah, I'll be gone at the end of the month. You got a week to find a new tenant. Good luck, asshole. Peace out.